have a video about a very special cat. This is Felix. Felix is special because he is blind. He actually has no eyeballs at all. So when I got him in, when did we get you? August, he was about 5 or 6 weeks old, and I got him along with his mom and his 2 siblings. So they were in pretty rough condition. They had a lot of eye infections. His siblings had various eye loss and vision loss. And we think it was just due to like kitten flu and something just not getting treated, right? Eye infections in cats can be really easy to treat if you catch them early on and you do eye drops and you do all the little things like terramycin. If you leave it, you might end up with a cat that's completely and permanently blind. So yeah, that's what happened to Felix. But he is such a good boy. When we first got him, he was 128 grams. Guys, he was tiny. I will add in pictures and videos here. And now he's this giant fluffy boy who runs around the house and he plays. He loves to play with Ashburn, who's also another rescue cat. This one's for adoption. This one is not. I actually adopted him with my boyfriend. Felix does not have eyeballs because of his eye infection and the lack of treatment and care he received as a kitten. His eyeballs basically atrophy, so they shrink back into his head. So there was nothing to salvage. So he has a big surgery planned for next week, and basically what they're going to do is they're going to close up his eyes. Because right now, hi Winston, you can kind of see in the pictures that, he's gonna knock over my camera. Winston, don't. He has naughty monkey tail. So basically what happens is his eye sockets are open, right? There's no eyeball. Winston. This is balanced on the cat hammock right now. So his eye sockets are open, right? And so that leads to just more infections because more gunk gets in there, they get swollen, and it traps the gunk inside. So, Winston. So what we're gonna do is the vet, it's not my normal vet, it's actually a surgeon that my normal vet recommended. And so what's gonna happen is, so basically he's going to get a surgery to close up the eye sockets and remove any debris or dead tissue and sew them up. So basically, he's just gonna look like Cousin It. He's just gonna be fluffy fur and a mouth and a nose, which is all he needs. So the surgeon he's going to is recommended by my vet, and she said he's very speedy and he can do the surgery quickly because that's super important for a kitten, right? You don't need kittens being under anesthesia for long periods of time. And while he gets his eye surgery, he's actually going to get neutered as well. The more you can reduce a kitten's time under anesthesia, the better. So he's just gonna have all his surgeries at once. Merry Christmas, Felix. I'm sorry. Yeah, so we're excited for his surgery, and I thought we'd make this video just to show people what it's like. And you know, there's not a lot of information out there. So if you're rescuing kittens and you've got kittens with eye infections or, you know, missing an eye or whatever, like, they're completely adoptable. They do need a little extra help. Maybe you can visit like a veterinary ophthalmologist, and that would be a great option too. And there's not one near me in Malaysia right now, so we're making the best with what we have. But we're excited to get the surgery for him. It's going to cost around 2,000 ringgit, which is quite a bit, but I knew when I decided to adopt him that that was going to be something I needed to account for. So I have budgeted and saved for it. And we're excited to see how he heals and how he continues to manage living life as a blind kitten. I do get asked a lot on Instagram, like, oh, how do you know if he's sleeping? How does he play? How does he walk around the house? he just does it. He's just a blind kitten, right? There's nothing else wrong with him. And even like wrong, like he doesn't know he doesn't have eyes. I doubt he ever saw as a kitten. I think he like maybe opened his eyes as a 2-week-old and then quickly got a really bad infection. So yeah, he does not know what he's missing. And people are always like, oh, I feel so sorry for him. And I'm like, don't be. He does not feel sorry for himself. He runs and plays just as much as the other kittens. So yeah, he may not be able to see, but he can still smell, he can still hear, he can still taste things, he can still touch things. So he's using his nose, he's using his whiskers, his senses of taste and smell to do everything a normal kitten would do. The question, how do you know when he sleeps? How do you know when anything sleeps? They don't move. And that's a general rule for kittens. If it's not moving, it's probably sleeping, right? So yeah, he's just your normal average kitten. He loves to eat. He would eat all day if I let him. He's still a little bit underweight, but that's not surprising because he was an incredible runt. All right, so that's Felix's backstory, and he will go for his surgery next week. Before his surgery, we need to go get him a blood test to make sure he's healthy and ready to go. Oh, that hurt. But yeah, thanks for meeting our little blind kitty. We love him so, so much. He's such a fluffy boy. And we hope you'll cheer him on as he heals from his surgery. And hopefully you'll have learned something new about kittens and eye care. And he's been fasting since last night, so of course he's grumpy. So are the big cats, because I took away their food too, because that's good for them. JK, it's just when all the cats are in one space, it's easier to do it for all of them. So he's going to go off. We're going to leave in about an hour and a half, go to the clinic, get him checked in. And the next you'll see him, he'll be out of surgery. Yeah. Sorry, Felix, 5 days after surgery. He is doing so, so well. Hi. His sutures are healing really well. He wants to go play. He is full of energy. You don't want to stay at all? No? He just wants to play, play, play. So, he had his surgery 5 days ago, and he is doing so well. He wants to go play though. You can't stop him, man. We always joke that there's just no way this cat is going to die because he had such a rough start to the beginning of his life that like nothing's gonna stop him, and nothing does. So his surgery went well last week. However, there were complications, and unfortunately he had some kind of reaction to an anesthesia, the vet thinks, and so he got transferred from the surgery where he had his procedure to our main vet, Dr. Teo at Cyberlinks. Now, Dr. Teo is incredible. If you need a vet, she is the one you need to go to. So she was able to do a drug reversal to bring Felix out of shock and bring his temperature back up and his blood pressure back up. Basically, she saved his life, okay? As far as I'm concerned, she saved his life. She is incredible. And so she did that, and she just provides amazing care. She was still texting me about him at like 11 p.m. at night. Like, that wasn't the time she should have been at the vet clinic, but that's the kind of care she provides. All the staff at Cyberlinks, they are incredible. They all work really, really hard, and they're dedicated and passionate, and like they really care about your animals, and I love that. I do think that's something that's kind of hard to find in Malaysia. at least from my experience. Maybe you've had a different experience. As always, if you have a vet you love, shout them out in the comments. Yeah, so he had his surgery, he went into shock, Dr. Teo saved him, and now he's back home just healing and running around playing. Right now we have a kitten we're pet sitting and they're best friends. They're chasing each other around the house. So yeah, he's had very minimal bleeding from his sutures. It was pretty swollen the first few days, but now it's pretty much gone down, and I think we're beginning to see what his face shape is going to look like now. So yeah, so that's where we are right now. That's your little Felix update. I'll have another update for you once he gets his sutures out, which I'm excited for. I mean, what a journey for him. He's an incredible little cat, and I love him so much. Like, when the vet called and was like, he's not stable, we're rushing him to another vet, I cried. I did. I cried here. I cried at a convenience store. Like, I love this little cat. I love all my cats, but there's a special bond with Felix. He's gone through so much and he's cost so much. Oh, speaking of cost, at the end of all his checkups and everything, I will do a price breakdown of how much it costs to have the surgery, the fees I spent using Grab to get up there to his doctors, his blood work results, that cost quite a bit too. So at the end I will give you a total of how much it cost for him to go through this procedure in case you're thinking about doing it for your cats. I'll see you at the next update. I'm just here to give you an update on Felix's surgery. So he is now a little over 3 weeks out from his surgery, and he's doing an amazing job. Like, you cannot even tell that he had a major surgery a few weeks ago. His eyes just look completely normal. I will give you a close-up of them after this section. But yeah, I just wanted to discuss surgery cost. So if you're considering getting this surgery for your animal and you need to save up for it, totally recommend doing that. It is quite an expense, and I will list the prices in ringgit first and then American dollar. Is that what they're called? US dollar? US dollar. American dollar. So basically his surgery could be broken down into 4 major parts. Pre-surgery blood work, the surgery, the emergency transfer to another animal hospital, and then transportation costs. And these I factor in because they're quite expensive for me to go from where I live to the north of KL. And I do have to use Grab, so that really does add up. So I'm including that because I think that it is fair. Alright, because these trips were just solely made for Felix. I didn't do errands or do anything else with these trips. Okay, Winston's found a jingle bell, so enjoy. Alright, so his pre-surgery blood work cost 200 ringgit. His surgery cost 2,300 ringgit. His emergency transfer to another vet clinic after he had a reaction to the anesthesia from that first surgeon was 220 ringgit. Okay, and then transportation costs were about 200 ringgit, give or take some cent. So yeah, so all in all, the total for surgery was 2,920 ringgit. So it's not cheap, but it's definitely doable if you are saving. I didn't know the exact cost of what his surgery would be, but in my head I was thinking like 2,000 ringgit from what I've heard about other people's cats. Obviously, if you want an exact quote, you do need to contact your veterinarian or the surgeon who will be doing the surgery. And yeah, you might need to save a little. Obviously, this is going to vary from country to country. Costs in Malaysia, I think, are a lot lower compared to places like the US or the UK. But it's definitely something I thought was worth it because it cuts down on the amount of eye infections he was going to have, and it improves his general well-being. And Isn't that what we all want for our cats? I just want them to be happy. So yeah, so he had that surgery and now he's doing so well. He's definitely gained a lot of weight since we first got him, and you couldn't tell he's blind, honestly. I mean, he does bump into things frequently. You'll hear a boom, and he'll be like, "Oh, Felix." But thankfully, he seems to have a very sturdy head, and there's no eyeballs he's gonna poke out. So, you know, it's great. It's great. We love him so much. But yeah, I just wanted to share this experience with you. And, you know, if you have questions, please ask below. As always, please consider asking your veterinarian first for better, more detailed answers. I am so happy to share my experience with you in case that helps you at all, and your cat, right? Because everything we do for our cats. But as always, I'm not a veterinarian, so please consult your veterinarians first if you want a better, more thorough answer. And also remember that you can get a second opinion. If you go to a veterinarian and you're like, I didn't like their attitude, or you don't think they took your animal seriously, please go to another vet. There are so many veterinarians out there, especially if you're in Malaysia. If you go to a vet and you're just like, go to somewhere else. If you need a recommendation for a veterinarian in the KL area, please leave a comment. I can give you so many recommendations. And I've been to some vets and they're like, oh, your cat's dying, we should just put him down. And I'm like, I don't think that's true. Like, you live with this animal, you know your animal really well. So if a vet's not taking the time to listen to you or talk through a surgery with you, go somewhere else, okay? Don't spend your money there, especially if it's a 3,000 ringgit surgery, you know? Okay, so that's all I have for you. Here are some clips of Felix living his best blind life. He is my baby and I love him so much. Enjoy.